Dear listeners, I welcome you to my channel. Leave your comments and impressions, I value your opinion. The sun was setting, casting a warm golden glow across the living room where I sat, my laptop open but forgotten. I had been trying to balance our household accounts, something Maria usually managed, but her increasing absences had shifted more responsibilities onto my shoulders. I paused, rubbing my temples, trying to make sense of the numbers that danced before my eyes. A soft ding from Maria's tablet, left carelessly on the coffee table, drew my attention. Normally, I respected her privacy, but lately, her secretive smiles and hushed phone calls had planted seeds of doubt in my mind. Curiosity overpowered my hesitation. I reached for the tablet, telling myself I was just going to check if it was something important, something she might need to see immediately. As I unlocked it using the familiar passcode she thought I didn't know, a message popped up on the screen. It was from her friend Lisa, a name I knew well. But the content of the message was something I could never have prepared for. I still can't forget the night with my AP in Chicago, the message began, because my hubby was never good in bed. My heart pounded in my ears. AP, affair partner. The words struck me like physical blows. I read on, each word a nail hammering the truth into my consciousness. She couldn't bear the humiliation of being with me. What about the humiliation I felt now, reading these words? A mixture of anger and devastation coursed through my veins. I stood up abruptly, the tablet slipping from my limp grasp and landing with a thud on the carpet. My chair rocked on its legs, as if it too felt the shock of betrayal. "Honey, are you home?" Maria's voice floated in from the hallway, light and carefree. My chest tightened at the sound. I watched as she entered the room, tossing her keys on the table, her face lighting up in a smile that suddenly seemed foreign to me. "Hey, what's wrong?" she asked, her brow furrowing in concern as she took in my pale face and stiff posture. "Nothing," I managed to say, my voice hoarse. "Just tired." She nodded, accepting the explanation too quickly. "I'm just going to take a quick shower." As she disappeared down the hallway, my gaze fell once more on the tablet, the words still glowing accusingly on the screen. I couldn't just let this go. I couldn't continue living a lie. But what could I do? How could I confront this betrayal in a way that would equal the pain I felt? As the sound of running water echoed from the bathroom, an idea began to take shape, dark and vengeful. A plan that would not just expose her betrayal, but also make her feel a fraction of the agony she had carelessly thrown into my life. I opened my laptop, a new determination taking hold. It wasn't just about confronting Maria anymore. It was about reclaiming my dignity, about crafting a revenge that would turn the tables. I began to type, each click of the keyboard a step toward the retribution that brewed in the shadow of my broken heart. The revenge would be devastating. It would be meticulous. And it would start tonight. As Maria's shower hums in the background, I'm tapping away on my laptop, pulling up every bit of digital knowledge I have on crafting an untraceable message. The initial shock has faded, replaced by a cold, calculating fury. I'm not just out for answers anymore. I want Maria to experience the destabilizing tremor of betrayal. My planning is interrupted by a knock at the door. Glancing at the clock, I note it's too late for casual visitors. Cautious, I peer through the peephole and find my old college friend Tom, his eyes anxious, his stance impatient. "Hey man, I was just in the neighborhood. Thought I'd drop by," Tom says as I open the door, though his tone suggests a deeper concern. "Good timing," I mutter, ushering him inside. "I could use a friend." Tom's gaze drifts to the open laptop, the scattered notes. Looks serious. "Everything okay?" Taking a deep breath, I decide to confide in Tom. His background in cybersecurity might just be what I need. I recount the discovery, showing him the message on the tablet. His expression hardens with every word. "This is messed up, man. But what are you planning to do?" "I want to turn the tables," I confess, my voice a mix of determination and desperation. "Can you help me send a message? Something that can't be traced back." Tom nods, pulling out his laptop from his bag. "You're lucky I always carry this thing around. Let's set up something that'll make her think twice." We dive into the technicalities, crafting an anonymous email setup that would mask my identity. As we work, I can't help but feel the weight of what I'm about to do. This isn't just about revenge. It's about sending a clear message that I'm not to be trifled with. The plot thickens as Tom suggests, if you really want to shake her up, You should make her think her affair partner is the one sending this. That's perfect. I agree, a grim smile tugging at my lips. Make it look like he's spilling everything. Hours pass as we set up the perfect digital illusion. Tom's expertise with cybersecurity makes the work lighter than I expected. Just as we finish, my phone buzzes. It's a text from Maria, now out of the shower and wondering where I am. Just finishing up some work, I text back, a lie that tastes bitter on my tongue. As Tom packs up, he claps a hand on my shoulder. You sure you want to go through with this? Once it's done, there's no going back. I nod resolute. It has to be done. She needs to understand the consequences. Tom leaves, and I sit back, staring at the screen. The email is ready, the cursor blinking expectantly. I take a deep breath and click send. The deed is done. Now, it's time to watch the fallout. But as I try to relax, a nagging doubt creeps in. What if this spirals out of control? What if Maria finds out it was me? I push those thoughts away. There's no turning back now. I've set the stage for a confrontation, and I need to be ready for whatever comes next. The morning light filters in through the blinds, casting long shadows across the kitchen where I sit nursing a cup of coffee. The silence in the house is almost palpable, a stark contrast to the storm brewing within me as I wait for the fallout from last night's email. The tension is thick, choking, as I listen for any sign of Maria waking up. I hear the familiar shuffle of her footsteps upstairs, followed by the ding of her phone receiving a notification. My heart races. This is it. Moments later, the sound of hurried footsteps descends the stairs. Maria bursts into the kitchen, her face pale, her eyes wide and frantic. Alex, you won't believe what I just got. Look at this. She thrusts her phone at me, her hands trembling. The screen displays the email I sent, perfectly anonymous, perfectly incriminating. I feign confusion, taking the phone from her shaking hands. What is this? I ask, keeping my voice steady. It's from him, she stammers. From Chicago. He's threatening to tell everything. I don't understand, we ended things months ago. Her frantic tone, the fear in her eyes, it should give me satisfaction. Yet it stirs a mix of pity and further anger. I suppress these feelings, focusing on the role I need to play. Maria, what exactly ended months ago? I probe, watching her closely. She hesitates, biting her lip, then collapses into a chair, burying her face in her hands. It was a mistake, Alex. A huge mistake. I was going to tell you, I swear. It meant nothing. The confession hangs in the air, heavy and suffocating. I sit down opposite her, the cold facade I held up beginning to crack. What are you going to do? She looks up at me, her eyes searching for something, perhaps forgiveness, perhaps fear. I need to maintain control of the situation, to push forward with my plan even as part of me aches to just scream. We'll figure this out together. I say finally, my voice cold. But I need to know everything first. No more secrets, Maria. She nods, wiping her eyes, and begins to recount the sordid details of her affair. As she talks, I listen, my mind racing, planning my next moves. The revenge is in motion, but I find no peace in it. Each word she utters is a reminder of betrayal, yet also a pinprick of hope for some cathartic resolution. After she finishes, there's a heavy silence. I stand up, my decision made. I need some air, I say, leaving her alone with her guilt. Outside, the cool breeze does little to calm my tumultuous thoughts. I walk aimlessly, my path taking me to a familiar park where Maria and I often walked hand in hand. Sitting on a bench, I pull out my phone and dial Tom. Hey, it worked. I start without preamble. She believes her lover sent the email. Tom's voice is cautious, and... Do you feel better? No. I admit, I feel worse. This isn't solving anything. It's just multiplying the pain. Tom sighs. Revenge often does, my friend. Maybe it's time to think about what you really want out of this. What's your endgame? I pause, the question hanging between us like a lifeline I'm afraid to grab. I need to think, Tom. Maybe. Maybe there's a way to fix this, not just break it further. Let me know how I can help, Tom offers, and we hang up. As I sit alone, watching families and couples pass by in blissful ignorance of my turmoil, I realize that my plan for revenge has started to lead me somewhere unexpected. Not towards satisfaction or closure, but towards a crossroads. One path leads to continued deception and revenge, the other perhaps to forgiveness and rebuilding. The choice looms ahead, daunting, but necessary to consider. The house feels colder, the silence more oppressive as I return. Maria sits at the dining table, her posture defeated, surrounded by the remnants of our shared memories scattered across the surface. As I close the door behind me, she looks up, her eyes red-rimmed but resolute. "Alex, we need to talk," she begins, her voice steadier than I expect. I nod, taking the seat opposite her. "Yes, we do." She takes a deep breath, then reaches into her bag and pulls out a small stack of photographs and letters, sliding them across to me. "First, I want you to see these." Puzzled, I sift through them. They're pictures of us, letters we wrote to each other over the years, tokens of our better days. My heart clenches at the sight, a painful reminder of what we're on the brink of losing. "Why are you showing me these, Maria?" "Because I want you to remember us, Alex. Not just what broke us, but also what built us. And I have something to confess." Her eyes lock with mine, earnest and fearful. "That message. I wrote it, but not to whom you think." I frown, confusion mingling with a rising sense of alarm. "What do you mean?" "It was for my therapist, Alex. I've been seeing someone about our marriage, about my dissatisfaction. It was never meant to be seen by anyone else. Lisa sent it by mistake, thinking it was a draft for a novel I was working on." A chill runs down my spine as the pieces start to fall into place, the horrible realization dawning on me. "So there was no affair?" "No. There never was." Tears brim in her eyes. "I was frustrated, feeling distant from you. I thought about what it would be like to be with someone else, but I never acted on it. I swear." The weight of her words, the implications of my own actions, crash into me with staggering force. I had concocted a revenge for a betrayal that never happened. Guilt, sharp and punishing, pierces through the anger. I sent that email. I confess, the words tasting bitter. "I thought I was exposing you, punishing you for cheating." Maria's face crumples, hurt and disbelief warring across her features. "You thought and you decided to hurt me back." The shame is overwhelming, but I push forward, desperate to make things right, or at least, less wrong. "I'm sorry, Maria. I should have talked to you first, asked you about it, not jumped to conclusions." Silence stretches between us, thick and fraught with the pain of our mutual misunderstandings. Finally, Maria speaks, her voice low. "Where do we go from here, Alex?" "I don't know," I admit. "But I want to try to fix this, if you can forgive me. Maybe we both need help. Together." Maria nods slowly, the decision seeming to draw the heaviness from her shoulders. "I'd like that. Let's start with honesty, with therapy, together." Relief, tentative but real, begins to soften the hard edges of my fear. We stand, the decision made, and as we embrace, a fragile hope wraps around us. Perhaps despite the chaos and pain, we can rebuild, finding strength in our vulnerabilities rather than in our defenses. As we pull apart, Maria manages a small, wobbly smile. "Let's make our next chapter a better one, Alex." "Together," I agree, my heart lighter than it's been in days. No secrets, no revenge, just us working through it all. The promise hangs in the air, a fragile but enduring testament to our commitment to mend what had almost been irrevocably broken, not by infidelity, but by the shadows of doubt and revenge. As we turn to face our new beginning, I realize that sometimes the deepest intrigue lies not in the secrets we keep, but in the truths we dare to share.